Hello guys, welcome to another quick review of Target 080827. This was done on the 28th of March and I'm just getting to the quick review now. Show me the images and target site for 80827 from crvviewer.com. Accept large information of impressions from the target itself. Let's do it. Emotional state, physical state, just some statements to sort of prep me for the session, and a little doodle which gets me in the mode. Let's have a look. So we've got our ideogram, but let's go through the target first. So on this one we have target 080827. It is Balaclava, Sevastopol, Ukraine, and the target is actually a submarine base. So we've got the first one here where the submarine base is located, and we've got Balaclava below. Second picture, we have got a picture of the entrance to the submarine site, which is underneath this mountain, or underneath this hill. Reading the notes from the site, they wanted it to be nuclear proof, so that hence why it was built inside a mountain. That is awesome. And this was done in the 1960s, not now, but way back when. So now third picture, we've got the entrance coming up. Another one, we've got the entrance where people come into work outside the island, and the next few pictures are all from the inside of the base. So let's go with another picture. We've got so they had one entrance and one exit, and there was no place to turn around, so when they entered in was the entrance, and they carried on through until they reached the exit. Let's have a look at these other pictures here. So we've got pipes, we've got long corridors where these submarines were in. It looks fantastic. It's amazing that they did this under a mountain. So we've got some more. We've got some museums set up. And at present it's open to the public, and part of it's set up as museum as far as these pictures are explaining. And yeah, this looks awesome. So we've got all these museum pieces, long corridors, we've got tracks, we've got 2 tracks going throughout. So they used to move equipment using those railway tracks. So with that known, let's continue with the ideogram. So we've got the ideogram here, and we've got some feeling structures in hands initially. First 2 fingers hardened up and proceeded down arm. Fingers felt like being pulled, suction, withdrawn type pressure. So I really don't know what this could be, but it could be the tracks. Things get pushed and pulled on those 2 tracks. But it's a stretch. I don't actually know what those 2 things were, even after seeing the target. We've got whole arm, felt like a strong structure, feel lots of pressure, experiencing support, hardening over arm. B, we've got the pro points detailed. So basically I chose the points where the impressions came through the most and just gave a quick description. So structured fingers, energy movement, pressure weight, stress structure. And here we go. We've got sense. So here we go. We're going through to touch 1. Head feels like surrounded, subtle pressure around head, and head and body. Head feels enclosed like. So it looks like I'm being surrounded by something, and I'm not too sure what it is, but I can just feel it. Feels like a soft bodysuit. Small and cold in back, feels wet. All right. Touch 2. So it just feels like the body's being enveloped by something, which is cool. Touch 2. Feel something behind head, connect to the back feeling. So whatever's there, I'm feeling a passage go from this space to that space. Cold on back, surface object feeling up. Cold structure, temp cool, right arm feels stiffening, feel pressure in side arm movement. So yeah, here just feeling pressures and impressions and that sort of thing. Nothing too much early at this stage, I don't think. Nothing that we can associate it with the pictures at all. We're going to touch 3. So high pressure compression, felt around body, feel some anxious nerves, a bit high, feels like body pressure building up. Swollen pressure in body felt carrying the pressure. Okay, so this one here, I've got a picture of myself, and I've drew arrows to point into my body, which signify the pressure that I was feeling. But as you can tell, I've got arrows that are meeting those other arrows that are pointing in. I've got arrows pointing out which meet those. So when I felt this impression, although I can feel the pressure from the outside, I could feel an equalizing pressure on the inside. Now, that's probably the first sort of thing around the submarine side. You know, we equalize pressure and all that sort of stuff around those big structures. And that's what it felt like. It felt like whatever outside could produce, the inside would match it. And I'm still feeling that high compression around my body as well. So this is probably one where I think the submarine is being felt, the submarine structures. Anyway, texture 1, pressure along arms, flat, smooth, metal-like, diver. Feels exposed, cold, structural, cold, fit. So drawing this one here, I could feel pressure along my arms, like a high pressure. And I could, what else could I feel is something down the back of my back, something flat, smooth and metal-like, feels exposed, structural, cold, and it ran down the whole length of my back, and it felt like a structure. Now, when I had the AOL, I was thinking, it feels like a diver. You know, he's got the tank on his back, and that's kind of how it felt like. It felt like he had a long, elongated tank. He was carrying a tank on his back, and that's why I put AOL diver. Not thinking that could be a submarine or a structure around. All right, so we've got texture 2, feel feet cold, solid structure, long object, cold on inside of feet, cool back. So the solid structure, long object. So I could still feel the longness of the object or a form, a structural form. Texture 3, I feel cold feet, rigid, structural, or most of the body, cold spot on back, left side. So still feeling the structural of this guy here, just feeling a lot colder stuff around the feet, feeling more rigid, you know, it gets less flexible. So I'm just thinking, okay, maybe it's just a sub and I'm just getting the cold, the feet side of me sorted and coming through. Temp 1, feel cold against lower back, feet feel cold and still on inside of foot. So if this was my ankle, my heel on my foot, on my, was it left, right foot, I could feel a cold structure on the inside of my foot, on the instep, and it was cold on the inside, not on the outside, but on the inside. So it usually means that I'm on the inside of something. And I thought it might have been flippers, but obviously it was not. Let's carry on to the next one. Now, I missed out temp 2. Sorry, guys. Temp 3. Feels like flow between toes. So, cold flows between toes feel tightness around lower legs. Flows have direction around foot. So, this is a picture of my right foot. And I'm just trying to illustrate that I could feel flows going past my foot in that direction, and those same flows were actually going between my toes as well, so I could feel them. Now, before this, I would have thought flippers, or you know how you run your feet through water and you can feel the water through your toes, exactly like that. That's what it felt like, but you didn't have to move your feet in order to feel the flows. It just came past your thing. Now that I know what the target is, I'm just sort of wondering, it could be the back fins or the back of the submarine, you know, the propellers sort of in that area, because the flows, that's the first thing that came to me when I saw this, was flipping behind, propeller blades, that sort of thing. Colors, so bright and dark, see colors and straight lines. So let's bring up a picture here. So none of these pictures I've actually brought up at all. So colors and straight lines, I don't know what the colours and straight lines don't correlate with anything that I've got in the pictures at all, I don't think. So what we got, bright and darks, so. Yellows, blues, greys. Let's pull up one of those. I'll pull up any picture with yellow, blues, greys in it. We've got greens, blues, yellows. Greens, blues, yellows, which is sort of like, the inside of this complex has got a lot of greens, blues, and yellows and greys. So I'll just pick out, show you the pictures that it could very well be, or it could be the outside as well. With smell, we have this. So warmth, warm around body and dry, which was really weird because I thought it was cold. I was getting cold this, cold that. And next thing I smell warmth, like warm air, not cold air, warm air. Warm around body and dry. And that was really confusing. So coming through to smell too, cold feet, back of arms feel exposed and cold. Now this is what I was used to, not this warm stuff. So definitely inside something here. Smell, and definitely exposed to something there. Smell inside, warm. Breathe in warm air inside. So obviously it's whatever targeting I'm trying to use, flick me back into inside. Whether it's inside the mountain or the submarine, don't know. Here one. Something structural is on my left ear. Feel slight pressure when moving my head. Pressure follows with a slight delay felt. Slight delay felt when moving my head. Object felt in my ear. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that object could be. It's it doesn't seem to correlate with anything in the pictures. But this was my first sign of water being involved, because whenever I felt the structure on my head, and when I turned my head like you're doing a no, it's like you can feel the wake of water follow the object. So as I turn my head, the object would sort of follow slightly delayed. And the only time I ever get that is when I'm in water and you move your arms around and you can feel the wakes, delayed wakes across your skin, to show that it's the wakes of that liquid that you're moving your arm through. But yeah, that was interesting, but I had a strong suspicion that water was involved in this thing, definitely. Hearing number 2, so as I was probing, I've got a picture here. I felt structures going through my legs, through my arms, through my back, all in while I was probing here too. Feel objects on back, feel exposed, long things released, open, feel structures in feet, instep, bigger than my feet, extended. So we've got pictures of construction all throughout this mountain, so any one of those it could be, but definitely feeling major construction in my body, which went beyond my body as well, so I knew it was quite large. Here 3, ridged structure felt, solid, heavy, increased pressure, attention drawn left. So I don't know what was left, but in this impression it felt like it wanted to point me towards something on the left. Structural heaviness felt in face and left side of body, arm and legs. So yeah, what do we got? Join 1. So join is where we try and connect to the site and bring up things that might be related to a person, emotions and that sort of stuff, but really get it. I got a lot of high pressure felt in left ear. I felt some structures across my face as well. Sort of felt like goggles, but yeah, not too sure. I put goggles there. Joy number 2. I've got heads tight, body looser, relaxed. So here's my body going through the motions of the probe, and my head was really tight. It was really structural. Everything around my body was really structural, emphasized by how deep I drew the drawing. It was very heavy, very structural, very tight. But in my on the inside of my body, it felt empty and nothing was there. And that's why I sort of pieced together, you know, I could feel the structure on the outside, but in the middle it was empty. Empty, quiet, calm, nothingness. Those were the sort of things that were coming up there. So I just put empty space. That could be the mountain, and it could be the empty submarine place. Who knows? I don't. But yeah, that's what I've equated it to, is being able to feel the emptiness with all the structure around it. So I can feel the outside, and I've noticed the difference on the inside. Drawing 3. No feelings felt a strong structural feeling in body, structural curve around arms and shoulder, stuck up through my head. Okay, lie flat in front. So I'll explain this drawing. This sort of my seating position when I do my session and probe, got my probe hand, blah, blah, blah. So what I felt was this big curvy thing across my back and shoulders. Heavy structural curve, structural thing. I also felt like there was a structure on my lap, across my lap, and that's why I put this thing across my thighs and lap in the picture. So behind me was this thing, and in front of me was this on my lap. I also felt like there were structures that were tall poking out of my head. So they were sort of sticking up. So I don't know what they could have been. But those are the structures that I felt. And either they are representative of the site or the submarine, maybe. But yeah, structural sort of feelings, aerials maybe, across the back and across the front. Let's do this. We have snapshot number 1. We have tall structures and image, ground targets. I had these long structural things on each side, and it felt like there was something there in the middle, so I just represented it with this. But the pictures in the tunnels, you've got numerous with lots of supporting structures like this, but no submarine. So I'm sort of going to tie it to the site and the fact that that could have been a submarine in that water at the time, which is where I targeted it, and not what the pictures show. But yeah, it's interesting. A second picture came to me, which was this pipe. So this was just a normal construction pipe. I saw it, structure curves seen. So knowing that it was curved and it looked like a connecting pipe somewhere, I thought, okay, interesting. I'm getting inside stuff, structural, major infrastructure type stuff. Snapshot number 2. Now this was interesting. This one felt like it was a dark visual where light was coming out of it, like things, I don't know, something was coming out of it, and it seemed to be lighter than this guy here. Top down view, no, I don't think it is. I think it's either in the front or in this. I thought it was something going down a hole or something, but with these things coming out, shooting out the side, I was thinking maybe it's going forward, like it's following a path. But yeah, that was very interesting, that one, because all I could see was this darkness in the middle and all these lights shooting out. Not like an explosion, like something was being revealed. Snapshot number 3. So we've got a few pictures that I'll just put up. But I had these pipes. So we've got a lot of pipes in this underground facility, and I just saw a lot of pipes going here and there, flow pipes in many directions. And I had a second picture. So this one was, I got that dark, ominous thing in front of me as a visual, and I could feel these flows coming around me and going towards that thing. So that's what I drew. Is this thing had flow, it had direction, it was moving. But yeah, it was. Now I put going down. Like, am I following it? The current or something like that. It just felt like I was moving with it. Snapshot number 3. Now let's kick into the matrix. We got centrals first. Cold on top of arms, not underneath. Back feels empty and exposed. So I'm not too sure what that could be. I'm thinking that it could be a submarine. And it's partially out of the water, and whatever is exposed to the air, which is the top of the vehicle, will be cold and not underneath because it'll be submerged. Back feels empty and exposed. So yeah, a lot of feelings, nothing too definite, but definitely around the same sort of idea. Magnitude, energy falling down from shoulders outwards like structural water spreading out. So this one felt like that water is running down off my shoulders, or off the structures that were off my shoulders. Similar to like waterfalls coming off the side. Now, when I saw the target, I thought, okay, if that's a submarine that's breaching or coming out of the water, it's got all that water coming off it, and you would feel that water coming off it. And that's what it sort of felt like. It felt like water was coming off something, and you were bursting through, coming through something. Magnitude. Topological, which is our shapes. We have I believe our mountain with a whole lot of stuff underneath. Really, it came out as a triangle shape, but then within the triangle shape there was all these sort of dark sort of images and shapes that were there. So hence why I'm trying to create shapes under this big shape here. And this, to me, is definitely symbolic of the underground base of this balaclava base. Energy, tingling sensation on top of structured form. So what I felt here was, it felt like my arm, and it felt like water was running across and then falling off like a waterfall. And I could feel the tingling sensation of this water falling off my arm or hand. This was my arm or hand here. Structure coming out of hand, extending form. So this felt a bit weird too. It had something that was sticking out, but I couldn't really. It just felt long and extended. So hence extended form. My AOL, I put conveyor belt because I thought, oh well, something's falling off, coming along and then falling off, so that's why AOL's there as well. Next on the list, let's go with physical. So the 3D technique that I employ in physical: cold, wet feeling, sort of empty feeling, not much detail felt in form. Outside form is busier. So as I was trying to gleam, what I got was a thin, long shape which hardly had any activity inside it, hence the empty feeling. But outside it was full of feeling. It was a lot busier than what the inside is. Now, what I think this is a submerged submarine, with the shape, with the fact that it's empty on the inside, or it does follow the shape. It could be underneath the mountain, but it doesn't show much structural form for underneath the mountain. So I actually think it's of the submarine itself. Long, cylindrical, busy on the outside, not so much in the middle. But it came out with the right shape, which I'm really glad. Paraphysical, feel slight pressure around body, cold ankles and feet, feel flow and direction, face on form, face forward. So this is where I started feeling the motion of whatever I was feeling. I felt like I was moving forward as I could feel pressure from the front of me rather than behind me. So that's why I've put this, and that became part of the analysis, the flow of direction, along with the feet one as well. Symbol, Symbol, I had shapes, I had windows, and this one was interesting. The symbol was, I could see this water, and it was flowing off a lip, and then it would fall into the water, sort of like a waterfall, but this had a curved shape, and it wasn't a straight shape like a straight waterfall where it just goes flat and then falls over. For some reason, this had to follow a curved structure before it fell. I still think that could be the submarine busting through the water or breaching, and hence this curved requirement for water coming off something structural. Concepts: flow, structure, water, got back, head structures, felt, feel, spot on left hand. Yeah, don't know what that is. We'll just carry on. So, number 3, last of the matrix, we've got snapshot number 1. I had a strong image of this pyramid again, this shape, and to draw it more 3D-ish in AOL pyramid. What we got here, snapshot number 2. Now I got here, it felt like I was in a room with objects. There was a big black object here, and over here was some big white object and something else. Yeah, that was weird because I was fully expecting something to be outside. Outside description, not enclosed, but now that it's a base inside a mountain, I kind of understand why my impression showed me that it was inside, and these objects were inside. Now, for this one, I had two pictures. This one here was the expanded. I was able to bring up more of the white object, and with these fins. Now, I'm not too sure what I was drawing at the time, but this looks like a submarine. You got the side fins, you got the big body, and you've got something at the top. It sort of looks like a submarine. And I was really happy with that one too, because that sort of helped me connect it with the target once I saw it. Now, this one here is snapshot number 3. This one was weird. I saw this black guy, black symbol again, and what I could feel was this splashed liquid like white water, and I drew these sort of so I'm starting to think that this is probably the back of the submarine, and it's the propeller wash, or it's moving through the water, and this felt. Now, I didn't see this, well, I did see it, but I felt it more. It felt like water spraying all over me, like spray. I was like, what the hell? And that's why I pushed splash liquid, because it felt like it was being splashed on me lightly while the forms were. And yeah, that really was interesting, because I not only saw it, but I felt it. And I believe this guy is probably the submarine, which is related through all my other drawings in the session. And on that note, guys, and that was my session end. Thanks for joining me on my linkage, linking my impressions to the target. And yeah, today the guys aren't working next door, so it's pretty quiet, so I'm glad for that. But otherwise, guys, keep practicing, keep learning, and I'll see you at the next one. See you later.